The boy appeared like a ghost in the garden. One moment, Mr. Harrison sat peacefully beside his daughter Emma's wheelchair, watching the fountain sparkle in the afternoon sun. The next moment, a dusty boy in torn clothes stood before them, breathing hard, his dark eyes burning with something fierce and urgent. "Your daughter can walk," the boy said. His voice shook but stayed strong. "Your fiancé won't let her." The words hung in the air like thunder before a storm. Mr. Harrison felt his heart stop. He stared at the strange boy, maybe 10 years old, covered in dirt from the street, with scraped knees and wild hair. The boy looked like he'd run a long way to get here. "What did you say?" Mr. Harrison's voice came out cold and sharp. The boy didn't step back. He didn't look scared. Instead, he looked at Emma, then back at Mr. Harrison. "I said your daughter can walk. I've seen her, but Miss Catherine stops her every time she tries." Catherine, his fiancée, the woman he trusted with everything, the woman who'd been so caring, so gentle with Emma for the past 2 years. "That's impossible," Mr. Harrison said, standing up. His hands formed fists. "You need to leave. Now, before I call security." But then he heard it, a small broken sound. Emma was crying, not the frustrated tears he sometimes saw when she struggled with her therapy. These were different, deep, painful sobs that seemed to come from somewhere dark inside her. Her small hands gripped the wheelchair arms, so tight her knuckles turned white. The boy knelt down in front of Emma. His voice became soft and kind. "It's okay," he whispered. "Tell him. He needs to know the truth." Mr. Harrison felt the world tilt sideways. He looked at his daughter, his sweet, quiet Emma who hadn't walked since the accident 3 years ago, the accident that had damaged her legs. Or so the doctor said. Or so Catherine said. "Emma?" His voice cracked. "Baby, look at me." Emma lifted her face. Tears streamed down her cheeks. And then, slowly, she nodded. One simple nod that shattered everything. "No," Mr. Harrison whispered. "No, that can't be true." The boy stood up again. Now his eyes looked sad, not angry. "I live on the street near the back gate," he explained. 3 weeks ago, I climbed your wall to get some apples from your tree. I'm sorry for stealing, but when I got to the top, I saw something." He pointed to the fountain where water danced and splashed. "I saw Emma right there. She was alone, and she was standing up." Mr. Harrison couldn't breathe. His vision went blurry at the edges. She held onto the wheelchair. The boy continued. Then she let go. She took 1 step, then another, then another. 3 steps, sir. She was smiling, really smiling, for the first time I'd ever seen. Emma sobbed harder. Her whole body shook. Then what happened? Mr. Harrison heard himself ask, though he wasn't sure he wanted to know the answer. The boy's face darkened. Miss Catherine came running from the house. She was yelling. She grabbed Emma hard. So hard Emma cried out. She pushed Emma back into the wheelchair and said terrible things. What things? The words felt like broken glass in Mr. Harrison's throat. She said, "You foolish girl, you'll hurt yourself. You're too weak, too fragile. You'll never walk properly, so stop trying." And then the boy paused, his voice dropping to almost a whisper. Then she said something quieter, but I heard it. She said, "If you walk, you won't need me anymore." The garden spun around Mr. Harrison. The fountain, the roses, the perfect green grass, everything his money had built, suddenly looked fake, like a beautiful painting covering an ugly wall. He turned to Emma. He knelt down just like the boy had done. He took her small, trembling hands in his. "Emma, is this true? Please, baby, tell me. Has Catherine been stopping you from walking?" Emma's lips quivered. More tears fell. And then, in a tiny voice he hadn't heard in so long, she whispered one word. "Yes." The world exploded into a million pieces. Mr. Harrison thought back over the last 2 years. Catherine had seemed so perfect. After Emma's mother died and the accident happened, Catherine had stepped in like an angel. She'd stayed by Emma's side. She'd insisted on managing all the medical appointments. She'd been so protective, so careful, too protective, too careful. He remembered now, moments he'd pushed away, things that hadn't made sense. The time he'd found Emma crying in her room, and Catherine had explained it away as just a bad day. The bruises on Emma's arms that Catherine said came from Emma bumping into things. The way Catherine always interrupted when the physical therapist suggested Emma try to stand more. "She told me you'd be disappointed in me," Emma whispered, her voice breaking. "She said if I tried to walk and failed, you'd stop loving me. She said I was broken. She said I should just stay in the wheelchair where it's safe." "Oh, Emma." "No, never." Mr. Harrison pulled his daughter close, feeling her tears soak into his shirt. "You're not broken. You were never broken." The boy shifted his feet, looking uncomfortable but determined. "I kept watching after that day," he said. "I came back 3 more times. Every time Emma tried to stand when she was alone, Miss Catherine would appear. Once she grabbed Emma's arm, so hard it left marks. Once she stood in front of the wheelchair and wouldn't let Emma get up at all. She kept saying the same things, that Emma was too weak, too fragile, that walking was dangerous. Mr. Harrison felt rage build inside him like a volcano about to explode. But beneath the rage was something worse, guilt. How had he not seen this? How had he trusted Catherine so completely? How had he let this happen to his own daughter? "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked Emma, his voice rough with tears he was holding back. Emma looked down at her lap. "I tried once, but Catherine heard me. Later, when we were alone, she said if I told you, you'd think I was lying. She said you loved her more than me now. She said she'd leave, it would be my fault, and you'd be sad forever." The cruelty of it, the calculated, cold cruelty, made Mr. Harrison's hands shake. He stood up slowly. He looked at the boy who'd been brave enough to climb a wall, to confront a rich man, to tell a truth that no one else would tell. "What's your name?" he asked. "Marco, sir." "Marco, thank you. You've saved my daughter's life today." He reached into his pocket and pulled out his wallet, but Marco stepped back, shaking his head. "I don't want money, sir. I just want her to be okay." Mr. Harrison nodded slowly. He looked toward the mansion, the huge, expensive house where Catherine was probably sitting right now, planning her next move, thinking she was safe. "She's in there," he said quietly. "Isn't she?" Marco nodded. "I saw her watching from the upstairs window. She knows I'm here." "Perfect. Let her know. Let her be afraid." Mr. Harrison turned to Emma. "Can you be brave for me one more time?" Emma wiped her eyes. She looked scared, but she nodded. "Then we're going inside," Mr. Harrison said, his voice hard as stone. "And we're going to end this. Right now." He pushed Emma's wheelchair toward the mansion. Marco walked beside them, a silent witness to whatever was about to happen. Behind them, the fountain kept splashing, peaceful and innocent. But ahead, through those tall glass doors, a storm was coming. And Catherine was about to face the truth she kept hidden for so long. The walk to the mansion felt like walking through deep water. Every step took forever. Emma's hand gripped her father's sleeve, so tight it hurt. Marco stayed close on the other side, his presence somehow making Emma feel a little bit braver. Above them, dark clouds gathered in the sky. The wind picked up, making the tree branches dance and whisper. Mr. Harrison's jaw was set hard. His eyes looked straight ahead at those glass doors. Behind them, somewhere in his beautiful house, was the woman he'd almost married, the woman who'd stolen his daughter's future. They reached the entrance. Mr. Harrison pushed the doors open. Catherine stood in the grand hallway, perfectly dressed in a soft blue dress. Her blonde hair was arranged just right. Her smile was warm and welcoming, like always. But her eyes were different. They darted between Mr. Harrison's face, Emma's tears, and Marco's dusty presence. Fear flickered there, just for a second, before she hid it away. "Darling, you're back early," she said sweetly. "And who is this child? He looks like he needs a bath and a good meal." Mr. Harrison didn't smile back. He didn't say hello. He just wheeled Emma to the center of the hallway and stopped. "Why did you stop my daughter from walking?" The words dropped like stones into still water. Catherine's smile froze. What are you talking about? Don't lie to me." Mr. Harrison's voice was low and dangerous. Not anymore. Catherine laughed, but it sounded wrong. Too high. Too nervous. This is ridiculous. Who's been filling your head with nonsense? This street child. She pointed at Marco with disgust. You're going to believe some lying boy over me? I believe my daughter, Mr. Harrison said. Catherine's face went pale. She looked at Emma, and for just a moment, something cold and ugly flashed across her expression. Then the sweet mask came back. Emma, sweetheart, what have you been saying? You know how confused you get sometimes. Stop it. Emma's voice rang out, stronger than anyone expected. Stop lying. I'm not confused. I know what you did. Catherine took a step back like she'd been slapped. Tell me everything, Mr. Harrison said to Emma, his voice gentle now. I'm listening. I believe you. Emma's words came out shaky at first, then stronger. She told me I was too weak to walk. Every time I wanted to try, she said I'd fall and hurt myself badly. She said the doctors said I should never try to stand, but when I asked the doctors myself once, they looked confused. They said they never said that. Catherine's hands twisted together. I was protecting you. The doctors don't understand how fragile. Let her finish, Mr. Harrison commanded. Emma continued, tears streaming down her face. 2 months ago, I stood up when I was alone in my room, just for a minute. My legs were shaky, but they held me. I was so happy. But Catherine came in and she pushed me back down. Hard. I hit my knee on the wheelchair. It hurt so much. Mr. Harrison remembered that day. Emma had bruised her knee. Catherine said Emma had bumped into her bedside table. Another lie. She told me, Emma whispered, that if I walked, you wouldn't need her anymore. She said you'd send her away. She said I was being selfish by trying to walk because I'd ruin everything. The words hit Mr. Harrison like physical blows. Each one revealed more of the twisted truth. Marco stepped forward. His voice was clear and sure. I saw it happen by the fountain, sir. I watched Miss Catherine grab Emma and shake her. She said, stop this foolishness. You'll never walk properly, so why try? You need me. Your father needs me. If you ruin this, he'll never forgive you. Catherine's face turned red, then white. Her breathing got faster. You little liar. You're just some poor thief trying to cause trouble. Why would anyone believe you? Because I believe him, Mr. Harrison said quietly. Because everything suddenly makes sense. All those canceled physical therapy sessions. All those times you insisted Emma was too tired to practice standing. All those medical appointments where nothing ever changed. He moved closer to Catherine. She backed against the wall. I remember now, he said, his voice getting harder with each word. Dr. Patel wanted Emma to try walking with support 6 months ago. You said no. You said you discussed it with other specialists who disagreed, but you never gave me their names. When I asked, you changed the subject. Catherine's mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. And the bruises, Mr. Harrison continued. There were so many bruises. On her arms, her shoulders, once on her ribs. You always had explanations. She bumped into things. She fell reaching for something. She bruised easily. His hands shook with rage. Those were from you, weren't they? From you, holding her down. From you, stopping her. No, I would never. Don't lie to me. Mr. Harrison's shout echoed through the hallway. I'm done with your lies. Thunder rumbled outside. The lights flickered. Catherine's perfect mask finally cracked. Her face twisted with something desperate and ugly. You don't understand. I did this for us. For our future. Our future? Mr. Harrison stared at her like she was a stranger. What future? She was taking you away from me. Catherine's voice rose to a shriek. Every moment was about Emma. Emma needs this. Emma needs that. You barely looked at me anymore. But when she stayed in that wheelchair, when she needed constant care, you needed me. We were a team. We were building something together. Emma made a small, broken sound. Marco put his hand on her shoulder. Catherine kept talking, the words pouring out now like poison from a wound. If she walked, If she got better, you wouldn't need me anymore. She'd take all your attention again. You'd realize you didn't need a wife. You'd just send me away like I was nothing. So you kept her prisoner, Mr. Harrison said. His voice was cold as ice. You kept my daughter trapped in a wheelchair because you were afraid of being alone. I loved you, Catherine cried. I love you. I did what I had to do. That's not love. Mr. Harrison's words cut through her crying. Love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't trap. Love doesn't steal someone's chance to heal. Catherine collapsed against the wall, sliding down to sit on the floor. Her perfect hair fell in her face. Her careful makeup ran with tears. Please, she begged. Please, I can change. I'll help her now. We can fix this together. Don't throw away what we have. Mr. Harrison knelt down to her level. Emma and Marco watched, holding their breath. What we have, Mr. Harrison said quietly, we have nothing. We never did. It was all built on lies and fear. He stood up. Pack your things. I want you out of this house tonight. No, you can't. I can and I will. His voice was final. If you're not gone by morning, I'll call the police. What you did to Emma, keeping her from walking, lying to doctors, hurting her, that's abuse. I could have you arrested right now. Catherine's face went white with terror. But I won't, Mr. Harrison continued, because I want you gone from our lives as quickly and quietly as possible. Take your things and leave. Don't contact us. Don't come back. You're done here. Lightning flashed outside, turning everything white for a second. Thunder crashed so loud it shook the windows. Catherine stood up slowly. She looked at Emma one last time. There was no fake sweetness left, only bitterness and anger. You've ruined everything, she hissed at Emma. No, Marco said firmly. You ruined everything yourself. Catherine turned and ran up the stairs, her footsteps echoing through the quiet house. Mr. Harrison watched her go. Then he turned to Emma and knelt down, taking both her hands. I'm so sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry I didn't see it. I'm sorry I didn't protect you. Emma threw her arms around his neck and sobbed. Not the scared, painful sobs from before. These were different. These were tears of relief, of release, of finally being free. It's okay, Daddy, she whispered into his shoulder. You know now. That's what matters. They held each other while the storm raged outside. Marco stood quietly nearby, giving them space but staying close enough to help if needed. Upstairs, they could hear Catherine throwing things into suitcases, slamming drawers, moving around angrily. Will she really leave? Emma asked nervously. She'll leave, Mr. Harrison promised. And she'll never hurt you again. An hour later, Catherine came down the stairs with 2 large suitcases. Her eyes were red and puffy. She didn't look at any of them. She just walked out the front door and slammed it behind her. A taxi was already waiting. They watched through the window as she got in and drove away, down the long driveway, through the gates, and out of their lives forever. When the taxi's lights disappeared, Mr. Harrison let out a long breath. The storm outside was ending too. The rain became softer. The thunder moved away into the distance. Emma looked up at her father. What happens now? Mr. Harrison smiled, a real smile, warm and full of hope. Now we help you walk again. For real this time. No more lies. No more fear. Just healing. Emma's eyes filled with tears again, but these were happy tears. Marco shuffled his feet. I should probably go. No, Mr. Harrison said quickly. Stay. Please. Have dinner with us. It's the least we can do. Marco looked surprised, then grateful. Okay. Thank you, sir. That night, they ate together in the big kitchen, just the 3 of them. The huge house felt different now, lighter somehow, like a heavy shadow had been lifted. And tomorrow, Mr. Harrison thought, watching his daughter laugh at something Marco said, tomorrow they would start again, together, honestly, with nothing hidden in the dark. Tomorrow, Emma would take her first real steps toward freedom. Morning came soft and golden. Emma woke up to sunlight streaming through her window. For a moment, She just lay there, listening to the birds singing outside. Everything felt different, lighter, like a heavy blanket had been lifted off her chest. Catherine was gone. The nightmare was over. Emma sat up in bed and looked at her legs under the covers. For 3 years, she'd been told they were broken, too weak, too fragile, useless. But they weren't. They never had been. A knock came at her door. "Emma, are you awake?" Her father's voice sounded tired but hopeful. "Come in, Daddy." Mr. Harrison entered carrying a breakfast tray. Behind him came Marco, looking cleaner than yesterday. Someone had given him new clothes and a proper bath. He looked like a different boy, though his eyes still held that same fierce kindness. "Marco stayed in the guest room last night," Mr. Harrison explained, setting the tray on Emma's bedside table. "I hope that's okay." "It's perfect," Emma said, smiling at Marco. "Thank you for coming back." Marco shuffled his feet, embarrassed. "Your dad said I should be here. For what happens today?" Emma's heart started beating faster. "What happens today?" Mr. Harrison sat on the edge of her bed. He took her hand gently. "Today, if you're ready, we go back to the garden, to the fountain where Marco first saw you walking. And we try again." Fear and excitement twisted together in Emma's stomach. What if I can't do it? What if Catherine was right and I'm too weak? "Catherine was never right," Mr. Harrison said firmly. "She lied about everything. But Emma, listen to me." He looked into her eyes. "Even if it's hard, even if it takes time, even if you need help, that doesn't make you weak. That makes you human. We all need help sometimes." Marco nodded. "I've seen you stand. I've seen you walk. Your legs work fine. The only thing stopping you before was her, and she's gone now." Emma took a deep breath, then another. Her hands trembled, but she nodded. "Okay, let's try." After breakfast, they made their way down to the garden. The morning air smelled fresh and clean, like the world had been washed new by last night's storm. Drops of water still clung to the rose petals, sparkling like tiny diamonds. Mr. Harrison pushed Emma's wheelchair along the stone path to the fountain. The water danced and splashed, making its peaceful music. This place had seen the worst moment, when Catherine had grabbed Emma and stolen her hope. But today, it would see something better. They stopped by the fountain's edge. Emma's wheelchair faced the water. For a long moment, nobody spoke. They just listened to the fountain and the birds and the wind and the trees. Then Mr. Harrison knelt beside the wheelchair. "There's no pressure, sweetheart. We can take as long as you need. Days, weeks, months, it doesn't matter. I'm not going anywhere." Emma looked at her father, really looked at him. She saw the love there, the guilt he still carried for not seeing the truth sooner, the fierce protectiveness that would never let anyone hurt her again. "I want to try now," she whispered. Mr. Harrison's eyes got shiny with tears. He was holding back. "Okay, we're right here with you." Marco moved to one side of the wheelchair. Mr. Harrison took the other. They each offered a hand. Emma gripped their hands tight. Her heart hammered in her chest. Her legs felt strange, like they belonged to someone else. 3 years of being told they were broken had made her almost forget they were part of her. If you're enjoying this story, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales. "Whenever you're ready," Mr. Harrison said softly. Emma closed her eyes. She thought about all the times Catherine had pushed her down, all the times she'd been told she was too weak, too fragile, too broken, all the lies that had kept her trapped. Then she pushed those thoughts away. She opened her eyes, and she pushed herself up. Her legs shook terribly. Her knees felt like they might give out. But her father's hand was there. Marco's hand was there. They held her steady. "You're doing it," Marco whispered, his voice full of wonder. "You're standing." Emma was standing, on her own 2 legs. They held her. They were shaky and weak from not being used, but they held her. Tears streamed down her face. Happy tears. Amazed tears. "How does it feel?" her father asked. His own voice choked with emotion. "Scary," Emma admitted, "but good. Really good. Do you want to try a step?" Emma's heart jumped. A step, an actual step. Could she? She looked down at her feet on the ground. They seemed so far away. What if she fell? What if? No, no more what ifs. No more fear. Catherine was gone. The only person in her way now was herself. Yes, Emma said. I want to try. We've got you, Mr. Harrison promised. We won't let you fall. Emma focused on her right foot. She told it to move. For a second, nothing happened. Then, slowly, shakily, her foot lifted off the ground. She swung it forward. It landed 6 inches ahead. One step. She'd taken one step. Again! Marco encouraged. You can do it again. Emma shifted her weight. She lifted her left foot. Another shaky step forward. 2 steps. Her legs trembled so hard she thought they might give out. But they didn't. They kept holding her. That's my girl, Mr. Harrison said, tears running down his face now. That's my strong, brave girl. 3 steps. 4 steps. 5. Emma was walking. Really walking. With help, yes. Slowly, yes. But she was doing it. By the time they reached the fountain's edge, Emma was exhausted. Her legs felt like rubber. But she was smiling so wide her face hurt. Can I sit now? She asked, breathing hard. Of course. Mr. Harrison and Marco helped her sit on the fountain's edge. The cool stone felt good against her tired legs. Emma looked up at the sky. The clouds from last night were completely gone. Everything was blue and bright and beautiful. Thank you, she said to Marco. If you hadn't told the truth, I'd still be trapped. Marco sat beside her. I couldn't let her keep hurting you. That wouldn't be right. Mr. Harrison sat on Emma's other side. He put his arm around her shoulders. Marco, I've been thinking. You said you live on the streets. Marco nodded, looking down at his hands. Not anymore, Mr. Harrison said. I'd like you to stay with us. We have plenty of room. You could have your own bedroom, go to school, be part of our family, if you want. Marco's head snapped up. His eyes went wide. Really? You mean it? Really? You saved my daughter. You were brave when no one else was. That's the kind of person I want in our lives. Don't forget to like this video if the story touched your heart, and subscribe for more amazing stories every week. Marco's eyes filled with tears. He quickly wiped them away. Yes. Yes, please. Thank you. Emma grabbed Marco's hand. We'll be like brother and sister. I'd like that, Marco said, smiling through his tears. They sat there by the fountain, the 3 of them together. A man who'd learned to see the truth. A girl who'd found her strength again. A boy who'd found a home. Over the next few weeks, Emma practiced walking every day. Some days were hard. Her legs would hurt, or she'd feel frustrated at how slow her progress was. But her father was always there, cheering her on. Marco was always there, making her laugh when she wanted to cry. Dr. Patel came to the house and cried happy tears when she saw Emma walking. She created a special exercise program to help Emma's legs get stronger. No one lied about what Emma could or couldn't do. Everyone told the truth. A month later, Emma walked down the stairs by herself for the first time. She held the railing and took it slow, but she did it alone. Mr. Harrison watched from the bottom, his hand over his heart. Look, Daddy, Emma called down. No wheelchair. I see you, baby. I see you. 2 months later, Emma walked to the mailbox and back without any help at all. Her steps were still careful, and she got tired quickly, but she made it. Marco walked beside her, not holding her hand, just being there, just in case. Remember when Catherine said I'd never walk? Emma said as they headed back to the house. She was wrong about everything, Marco replied. Yeah, Emma agreed. She was. That night, they all sat in the garden under the stars. Emma sat in a regular chair now, not her wheelchair. The wheelchair was in the garage, just in case she needed it on tired days. But mostly she didn't. I've been thinking, Emma said, looking at the stars. About Catherine. Do you think she's okay? Mr. Harrison considered this. I don't know. I hope she gets help. I hope she learns that love isn't about control or fear. But that's not our problem anymore. Our problem is being happy. And I think we're doing pretty well at that. Emma smiled. Yeah, we are. Marco pointed at a shooting star streaking across the sky. Make a wish. They all closed their eyes and wished. Emma wished that no other kid would ever be trapped like she was. That every child who needed help would find someone brave enough to tell the truth. Mr. Harrison wished that he would always see clearly now, that he would never miss the signs again, that he would always protect the people he loved. Marco wished that this was real, that he wouldn't wake up on the streets tomorrow, that this family was really his to keep. When they opened their eyes, they were all still there, together, real, safe. Come on, Mr. Harrison said. Standing up, let's go inside. I'll make hot chocolate. Emma stood up without thinking about it. Just stood up naturally, like it was the easiest thing in the world, because it was. It always had been. She just needed someone to remind her. They walked back to the house together. 3 shadows in the garden, growing longer as the sun set behind them. Behind them. The fountain kept playing its music, peaceful and eternal. Tomorrow, Emma would walk even farther. Maybe to the front gate. Maybe down the street. The world was opening up again, full of possibilities. Catherine had tried to steal Emma's future, but she'd failed. Because the truth always finds a way out. Brave people always speak up. And love, real love, always wins in the end. If this story inspired you, please share with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories like this one. What did you think? Drop a comment below. See you in the next story.